Hi, my name is Candella, and I am an Iowan, and I am someone who cares very deeply about my country and my state and my community. And there are a lot of things that are going on in the world today that have me greatly concerned. And as I and a few friends were talking about these concerns, we decided that maybe we could do something. And the conversation came up to voting and the midterm election, getting involved in campaigns and things like that. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details about who I am, but I am going to just kind of going to briefly show you my shirt here and let you know that it says science is real, Black Lives Matter. No human is illegal. Love is love. Women's rights are human rights and kindness is everything. And it doesn't have an extra line that says the rights of trans people and non-binary people are also human rights. But if I could change the shirt, that's probably what I'd add first. And that more or less sums up who I am. So if you're someone who would wear a shirt like this or would see a shirt like this and be like, yes, you're my people, then yes, you are my people. And if you're somebody who sees a shirt like this and you're like, no, no, thank you. Or you find offense in a shirt like this, then you're probably not my people. This is probably not the video for you. And feel free to turn it off and move on about your day because you're not necessarily going to enjoy any more of this than what you've already enjoyed or not enjoyed so far. All right, the point of this video is how to vote in Iowa. And I've done two videos so far already, and the feedback I got is that's good, but too long. Too long didn't read, except it's a video, so too long didn't watch. In any case, so here is the shortest version. There are three ways to vote in Iowa. The first one, or my favorite way to vote in Iowa, is to vote early. Early voting. Early voting this year runs from October 19th, 2022 to November 7th, 2022. You can go to your county auditor's office, type into your search engine of choice, county auditor, and the name of your county. I'm in Pottawatomie County right now, so Pottawatomie County Auditor. Most search engines will spell it correctly for you or figure it out even if you don't spell it correctly. And they'll let you know their address, their phone number. So October 19th to November 7th, you can go to your county auditor's office anytime they're open. Check out their hours. Show up at the county auditor's office with your ID. IDs that will work are your driver's license, your non-operator state ID, your veterans ID, your tribal ID, or your passport. There's a good chance that other forms of ID won't work because the legislature decided to put a lot of extra restrictions on voting and make voting harder. You can try to take other forms of ID, but there's a good chance that they'll turn you away. Even if you take your voter registration card, I can go into a whole spiel, but if your voter registration card wasn't issued to you this year, it's possible that that will not even work as a valid form of ID. So take your ID, put your ID with you. So, as I mentioned, there are three ways to vote. Early voting is my favorite. My second favorite is to vote on election day. So, you find your polling place and you show up again with ID and you vote in person. And then, my third favorite way to vote is to vote by mail. Vote by mail, you need to fill out an absentee ballot request, send that into your county auditor, and your auditor will send you a ballot in the mail. Then you got to fill that out and get it turned back in or hand it back in on or before election day. Election day is November 8th. 2022. If they do not receive it by November 8th, then you just threw your ballot away, basically. While the rules are that you can turn an absentee ballot request form in as late as October 24th, and they'll still send you a ballot, I'm going to strongly urge you that if you don't have that absentee ballot request form already mailed by October 19th, that you just make a plan from October 19th to November 7th, pick a day and go vote in person early at your county auditor's office. If you need a ride to get to your county auditor's office, I'd encourage you to contact the party chair of the political party that you're most interested in or any of the candidates that you want to vote for and see if they can help you secure a ride to the polls. When I was first learning about voting, my challenge wasn't really about how to vote or where to vote. That information was pretty much everywhere. my bigger challenge was who to vote for. Like, what am I supposed to put on this ballot? It seemed like a test, and I didn't know where to find the answers. And how do you even study for tests? Like, one of the things I learned was that it's an open book test. And so I don't have to study so hard ahead of time. I can ask my neighbor for their notes, or someone that I trust, someone whose values match my shirt, and say, okay, who do you support? So you've seen my shirt, and that gives you an idea a little bit about who I am and the kinds of things I want to support. So everybody in the state of Iowa has the option to vote for these same folks. And so I'm going to give you my recommendations for about 2/3 of your ballot. So in the presidential years, the president and vice president are the very first thing at the top of the ballot. The presidential years are every 4 years. So 2020, we had a presidential election, and 2024, we'll have another presidential election. But right now, we're in the midterm. So the midterm is the space in the middle between the two presidential elections, right? I didn't realize that we really need to pay a lot of attention to these midterms. These midterm elections, there are a lot of positions that are really important, and it's kind of a big deal. And if you're worried about things like Roe v. Wade being overturned, okay, well, they say it wasn't officially overturned, it was just kicked back to the states. It turns out the midterm elections is where the state stuff happens. And so this state stuff is pretty important, and that's why it's so important for me to do this video and for you to share this video with everyone you know whose values match my shirt. Okay, the very top notch on our ballot for 2022 is who's running for the U.S. Senate. And the U.S. Senate, our choices are Chuck Grassley, yuck, or Michael Franken. Yes, let's go with Michael Franken. Okay, so I live in the 4th District, which is this side over here, the western part of Iowa. And so my choices for the United States House of Representatives are Randy Feenstra or Ryan Melton. Randy Feenstra is awful. What you do get to choose between is Ryan Melton, yay, or Randy Feenstra, ugh, easy, Ryan Melton. You do get to choose between Cindy Axne, yay, or Zach Nunn. Okay, easily, Cindy Axne. You do get to choose between Liz Mathis, yay, or Ashley Henson, for 1st District down here. Or you do get to choose between Christina Bohannon, yay, or Marionette Miller Makes. These choices are easy. You choose the one who's in the yay category. Choose Ryan Melton if you're here. Choose Cindy Axne if you're here. Choose Christina Bohannon if you're here. Choose Liz Mathis if you're here. So after we get through the federal offices, then come the state offices. And again, we have a yay, Deidre DeGier, Kim fucking Reynolds. Sorry, I'm not supposed to cuss in this video, but I don't know if I can say Kim Reynolds without at least in my head saying that other word. She is incredible. Anyway, I'm supposed to not spend a lot of time going into why so this video isn't going into a whole lot of detail on why they're awful. Deidre DeGier, yay! Kim Reynolds. Next is Secretary of State Joe Miller, make voting easier, yay! Paul Pate. Next, Rob Sands, save the taxpayers' money, yay! Todd Halber, no. State Treasurer Michael Fitzgerald, keep our dollars, keep Iowa afloat, keep Iowa financially solvent, yay. Roby Smith, deregulation stuff to erase consumer protections, yuck. Secretary of Agriculture John Norwood, yay. Clean air, healthy soil, thriving communities, yay. Nag, taking over your family farms and big farming corporations taking over your family farms. Nag. Attorney General of Iowa, Tom Miller, consumer protections, yay. Brenna Bird, okay. The right to keep and bear arms. So there's a ballot initiative and it says the right to keep and bear arms. And I go into quite a bit of detail in this in the longer video, but I'm trying to keep this one short. Check out Ballotpedia and notice that there are two a senator and a congressperson who are in support of this initiative. And there are gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of people and organizations who are opposed to this initiative. the main point that you need to know is that voting no on this ballot initiative does not take away the right to keep and bear arms. You're guaranteed that under our Second Amendment right of the federal Constitution. What it does is it takes away the ability for the NRA to hogtie our legislature and prevent us from ever having any kind of sensible gun regulation. Voting no means we say no, guns should not have more rights than humans. That's what we're saying no to. By saying no to this, you're saying, no, guns shouldn't have more rights than humans. Okay, so next on the ballot will be your state and county offices. And I'm not going into all the details on that on this video, although I will do some separate video. So let me show you why. I'm over here in Pottawatomie County, and the information for who I'll vote for is different depending on if I'm in this area of Pottawatomie County, which would be House District 16, versus this area of Pottawatomie County, which would be House District 11, or this area of Pottawatomie County, which would be House District 15. And so, or if I live in northern or southern Council Bluffs, then I would be in House District 20 or House District 19. And as you can see from the map, many of the counties have several stories like that, where who you vote for depends on which side of the line you happen to be on. So I will do another video for Pottawatomie County, which will cover these areas. And if you've got another county or district or area that you'd like for me to do a video on, I'd be happy to, but depending on time and availability. So the next thing on your ballot will likely be to vote to retain or to not retain some judges. And there are 3 judges that I've looked into, and I would definitely encourage you to vote no as far as retaining those. 2 are state Supreme Court judges, and 1 is an appellate judge. And the state Supreme judges that I would say vote no on retaining McDermott and Oxley. So McDermott is McDermott, and Oxley is Oxley. And the reason why is because women's rights matters, and the right for a person to choose what to do with their body matters. And they have decided that abortion care is not a guaranteed right, regardless of whether it affects the life of the pregnant person or rape or incest, or for whatever reason a person might need to seek that kind of care. They've decided it's not your decision. It's their decision, apparently. So I think we should out them. Out McDermott, out Oxley. So also vote no on Paul Ehlers, Ahlers, who will be on the ballot as appellate court judge for the same reason. He's decided that a person who has been victimized and has a fetus doesn't need to be in charge of what happens to their body and whether they would host that or not. The very last thing that we'll see on our very long ballot for 2022 will be a ballot initiative, the right to keep and bear arms. Now, I'm going to say vote no on this. And voting no does not take away your right to keep and bear arms. That is guaranteed to you under the Second Amendment of our federal Constitution. This law, though we won't see the whole initiative on the actual ballot because they just give us the short version on the ballot to save paper or whatever reason it is. But the details, the devil's always in the details, right? And the details of this ballot initiative are it binds any future legislature from being able to pass any sensible gun legislation. And if we are going to hold out hope that sensible gun legislation is possible, then we have to vote no on this, because this ballot initiative makes that impossible. But, don't take my word for it. Check out Ballotpedia for one. Ballotpedia lists that there's a state senator and a state representative who are in favor of the measure, and like everybody else is against it. And you can certainly look into why everyone else is against it. But there are a list of more than 25 organizations who are against it. So many organizations are against it. So check out their reasons for being against it and decide if there's someone you trust. And if they are, then trust their judgment on this and vote no on this ballot initiative. So I'm recording this on August 31st. As of today, if your intent is to vote absentee, you can submit an absentee ballot request form today or any day up through October. Technically, you can do it through October 24th, but I'm going to say October 19th or after. Just go and vote at your local county auditor's office and get it taken care of, get it done. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. There is another video called How to Fucking Vote in Iowa that I also created. It is quite a bit longer than this. However, if you'd like to watch it and count how many times I say the F-bomb for $20, then I encourage you to do. It also gives a bit more detail. There is also a longer video that is clean version of how to vote in Iowa, which gives more detail. I don't know, just take whatever you want. Or look up all the people that I just mentioned for yourself and make your own decisions based on that. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye. See you next time.